Amanda, this is an election so far where candidates who are offering substance on policy, common sense on crime, the economy, and the border, and a touch of personal humility by going out and talking with constituents, not at them. Those are the ones thriving. And yesterday, Glenn Beck joined me on my podcast, and he had one of the candidates that he was raving about, top of his list. Well, it's Arizona Gubernatorial nominee Kari Lake. And guess what? We're lucky enough to have her join us at the start of the show. Kari, welcome back to the show.
Oh, it's so good to be on. Thanks for having me. That was really nice that Glenn Beck said that. I admire him greatly.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing. Your candidate is your challenger, hiding, won't do a debate. You're out on the road every day talking to real constituents. You're making a personal connection. What's going on in Arizona?
Well, I have a personal connection with the people here. I covered this beautiful state for 27 years as a fair and honest journalist. So that's what I know how to do. You go out and you reach the people. That's what I thought politics was about. But apparently this is unusual. And my opponent, Katie Hobbs, is taking a page out of Joe Biden's playbook, hiding in her basement, ducking debates, disrespecting the voters of Arizona by not engaging with them to talk about the issues and what she wants to do. And so we're just doing the opposite of what she's doing. We held 2 rallies yesterday. We drew hundreds of people. One was in Tucson, one was in Scottsdale. We held 4 other events that day, and Governor Youngkin joined me. And we're attracting people who are independents and Democrats. They're walking away from the dead-end Democrat Party, and they're coming over in droves. And we've got a movement on our hands, guys. This isn't just a campaign. It is a true movement of we the people ready to step up and take back our government.
Yeah, very impressive.
I love it. And I know one of the things that people of Arizona see in you is the fact that you have had that career of 27 years. A lot of people go to local stations and then they just try to get a spot on a national network, but you stay there on the ground. And another aspect of your personality that I think people really appreciate is your willingness to fight, and you are not afraid to talk to liberal reporters and liberal news networks. And your interview with Dana Bash on CNN was incredible. I love that you are willing to have these conversations. Why don't other conservative candidates do this?
Well, I think my experience in broadcast news helps. Obviously, nearly 30 years, or 27 years here, and then a couple years back in my hometown. But I understand how the sausage is made, so to speak. And so every interview I do, I record. And we bring a camera along, and we bring a microphone, and we catch the reporters asking the question. Usually they ask a question, it's loaded, it is biased, you can hear it's dripping with an agenda and a narrative, and then they try to get a gotcha from the candidate. And I just record what they're doing. I'm recording those reporters or propagandists, and then we get home and we put that out on the internet. We put it out on our social media, and we turn the tables on them, and people can see just how biased they really are. And what's really great, guys, is we've been doing this now for over 500 days on the campaign trail with the media. And just 2 nights ago, we held a press gaggle with so many media from across the world, really, and nobody asked a biased, stupid, or loaded question with a narrative push. It was really beautiful. I think we're actually retraining the press how to be journalists here in this campaign.
We're going to have to get you to Washington real quick, because that's not the case here in Washington. Trust me. I want to talk about something early on. The media branded you an election denier. It's a silly term. You don't deny elections occurred. You raised issues, and every day we're seeing more and more examples of the election system still breaking down. Katie Hobbs, her office sends out 6,000 errant ballots. 2 more ballot harvesters indicted by Mark Brnovich. The proof of a system that needs repair is still being made. How rewarding is it to know that what you were raising is now coming true?
Oh, I mean, it is true. And just because the mainstream media won't cover it, they act like whatever they won't cover didn't happen. And it is happening. And finally, we're getting a little bit of justice on the back end with some indictments. And we found out last week a woman who was also guilty of all of this, who admitted her guilt, is going to do 30 days behind bars, thank God. And we're going to see justice. We will seek justice, but we will, more importantly, repair our elections so that they're honest, that every voter, Democrat, Independent, and Republican alike, knows that their one legal vote counted and they can trust the results of our elections. We've been having problems and distrust in our elections since 2000, and it's about time we fix this problem. It's not an impossible problem to fix, and we're going to do it here in Arizona, and we will be the state that everybody else wants to copy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
The people of that state will be served very well by that. I wanted to ask you, I know when you're out campaigning, we've spoken to you about this before. You talk to a lot of people who are maybe registered Democrats or independents, and they are swinging a different direction, a rightward direction this time around, especially with your race. Talk to us about those communities, those people who are coming over to vote Republican, maybe for the first time in their life, voting for you. Who is that typical person? Is it a Latino person? Is it a Black person? What are the demographics of those folks?
All over the board. You know, what I've noticed the last couple of days, not a day goes by the way, where we don't have somebody reach out and say either one of two things. I'm a Democrat and I'm voting for you. You're the first Republican I will cast a vote for. Or I've never been involved in politics. I am not just involved in your campaign, I am motivated by it. So those are great things to hear, because this truly is a movement. The people I've been noticing in the last week or so are people who are retiring or close to retiring, and they are very concerned because of Joe Biden's economy. They're watching their savings that they've, the little savings account that they set up for their retirement. They're watching as that actually dries up. A third of it has dried up under Joe Biden, and they're very concerned about their future and if they'll have to go back to work and won't actually be able to retire. So this is the crowd that I've been hearing a lot from lately, but we're seeing all walks of life. A third of Arizona is Latino. My husband and children are Latino, and that is a voting base that is coming over to the conservative movement and the Republican Party, because they are for what we are for. They are for safe and secure neighborhoods. They are for an ability to work and grow a business. They want their children to be properly educated, not indoctrinated. They're pro-life, and they want sanity in their children's education. And that's why my education policy, where I'm pushing a dual track education after 10th grade, so that our kids can decide if they want to go to college, that's fine. But if they don't want to go to college, we want them to have the ability to get trade skill training, vocational training, or career certification right there in high school, so they can get out of high school ready to take the opportunities that lie ahead for them. And there's some good jobs out there that don't require a college degree.
Yeah, that's for sure. We've
Amen.
been missing the boat on that for so long. Kari, you have built a movement on parents' rights too, putting parents back in charge of the education, no more co-parenting with the government. It seems like some Democrats are starting to get on that. I'm hearing Democrats for the first time, hey, this school choice thing may not be a bad idea after all. How has that happened? How have Democrats been pulled into this debate and onto the Republican side?
They've always been for it. They truly have. When you ask the electorate, are you for allowing your kids to go to whatever school you want and the tax money follows, the majority of Republican and Democrats are for that. But who hasn't been for it are the Democrat elected officials, because they take so much money from the teachers union. And the teachers union bosses don't care about the teachers. They don't care about the students, and they really despise the parents. So everyone's excited about it. The program is growing. I got to give kudos to the parents who pushed for this. Arizona's been at the forefront of education freedom. Our legislators did a great job last session, and I got to give credit to Governor Doug Ducey for signing that legislation into law. And we are really excited. We want to expand it even more, put more money into the pockets of the family so that they can pick the student or the school that best fits the student, whether it be a private school, a Catholic school, a charter school, or even homeschooling or microschooling. We are going to have so many options here. And guys, you know what that's going to do? It's going to force these government-run schools to up their game, change their curriculum, and do better.
That's what parents have been pleading for. Now there's a path to it. Kari Lake, what an honor to have you on. It's been fun watching you in action, and we're going to be watching you right down through Election Day. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.